Okay, here we're looking at the ORA Good Cat. This is Great Wall Motors offering of electric vehicles. Okay, here we see the under hood of the Good Cat, and let's come up here and take a look at how this is set up. All right, now obviously I hear a fan running, and this is actually the AC condenser, and the air conditioner is running right now, and I have of course a single cooling fan that's drawing air from the lower portion of the front of the vehicle there through the AC condenser. Now I do have a type of radiator, and I do have coolant, and so here we see our coolant, and I do have a radiator. In fact, I have a couple of cooling systems. Here's one cooling system, and there's its reservoir bottle, and here is the other cooling system. So obviously one of these is going to be for the electric motor and inverter, and the other one is going to be for the battery. Here we see the master cylinder, and I do have a vacuum brake booster, so I obviously do have a vacuum pump. Let's take a look and see if we can find that vacuum pump, and there it is. There's the vacuum pump. So if I have any devices such as a vacuum brake booster that need a source of vacuum for operation, there it is. Now, on just about all electric vehicles, I do have a 12-volt battery. Now, why do I have a 12-volt battery? Well, there are many devices. Obviously, the instrument panel display, our stereo system, etc., lighting that operates off of 12 volts. So there I have a 12-volt battery. Now, how am I charging my 12-volt battery? I'm obviously doing that through one of the functions of the electronics of the inverter. So it's using obviously the high voltage battery to maintain the charge on the 12-volt battery. Now here we see the power electronics and the high voltage connectors. Now the AC compressor, let's take a look at our AC compressor. We can kind of see it there. There's the back of it, and it is obviously operated off the high voltage battery. And here we see our AC lines, and this is good and cold, very cold to the touch, and this is nice and warm. And I notice that here on this air conditioning system we are using R134A. So this is an R134A system. So here's my high side line, it's good and warm, and here's the low side or suction line, good and cold. And here we see it. Plenty of condensation, air conditioning running very nicely. And here's my anti-lock brake, pump motor, valve block, and controller with its connector. It looks like the conventional off of the earlier gasoline or diesel counterpart. And this is only front wheel drive. Only front wheel drive, not all wheel drive. So there we see our traction motor assembly and gear train going to the axles there to the front wheels. So it looks like a real nice package. Now, fortunately, the plastic cover is removed. It may be totally unnecessary. And something that has to be serviced once in a while, I do want to be able to add washer fluid. And there we have it right there. Okay, now here we talked about a coolant reservoir. Here is the coolant pump. This is an electric coolant pump. Now this coolant pump is supplying the coolant flow through the power electronics. Of course, obviously the vehicle hasn't been moving, so this is not really very warm at all. I do feel warm air coming from the condenser. Now here I have a second coolant reservoir bottle, and I suspect this is for the battery, and I do notice that I do have a heater core, so I do have my coolant lines going to the heater core. Here we're looking at the front, and of course we see the windshield wipers sweeping back and forth, and this is their integral intelligent headlight, and we have the halo that is the driving light, and there as we turn on the turn signal it changes from white to yellow, and this becomes the turn signal. And we also have the turn signal indicator here on the side mirror, which is a very nice feature. Okay, now what we're doing is we're looking at the back. This is the turn signal indicator here in the back. And we're going to go ahead and take a look at the brake light. And there we see our running light. So we see that the third brake light assembly, and this is the tail light assembly right there behind the rear window. Alright, now here I have the actual headlights on, so we see that the halo is off, but the actual headlight is on. Now I'm going to reach inside and turn the headlights off, and there we'll see the driving light halo come on. So there we see quite a sophisticated setup with our intelligent light. Let's take a look here at the shape of the good cat. It looks a little bit like a Porsche or a Volkswagen. Now, as we look at the vehicle, obviously this is an electric vehicle, so I don't need any type of grille. Here I do have an air inlet there for the heat exchangers that are going to require airflow, and that's going to be obviously for coolant there for the electric motor and for the battery. And don't forget, with air conditioning, I'm going to have an AC condenser, so I'm going to be necessary to have an airflow to dissipate heat energy to the atmosphere as we drive along. I do notice that we have the camera here just above our license plate. And as we go around in Tesla fashion, here we see the side view camera. They're integral with the mirror. Now, one thing in Thailand, it's very important that the mirror be able to turn. And the reason why is because not only is it possible for it to be struck, but also in parking garages and stuff, it's very important that I be able to fold the mirror in because we have to park cars so close to each other. Here in Bangkok, I really don't want a monstrous car, so this car is really a good size to operate here in Thailand. Now let's take a look. We'll go ahead and open all the doors. Okay. Now, of course, obviously I have a keyless entry. As long as I have the key fob on my person, the car will unlock. Now, on this model, we do have a electric seat forward and back. The back tilts back and forth, and then of course I can lower and raise the seat, actually in kind of a tilting fashion, make it more comfortable there to operate. Now we're going to come right back to the driver's compartment, but let's finish going around the vehicle. Let's take a look at the passenger compartment. Alright, here I've opened the passenger door. The door certainly opens an adequate amount to comfortably get in and out, and there appears to be plenty of room there for the passengers. One thing that's a very nice feature of the good cat is that I can tilt down the back seats. That will tremendously increase my cargo area. Okay, so this is a very nice feature to be able to fold down the seat. And here, as I lift up the compartment, I see my tow eye, a little air compressor to try to fill up the air in a tire that's low. Here I see my emergency marker. As we come around, here we get an idea of exactly how far the door opens, and this is a very nice feature that I'm able to lower the seats. Plenty of cargo space. And this can really be a nice feature which can kind of make or break the deal for a SUV. The ability to be able to lower and raise the seat will mean the difference between putting something large here into the vehicle, such as a television or furniture, etc., where if I don't have this option, I'm tremendously limited. Here I see the rear-facing camera. Okay, here we see the passenger side. Now obviously this is a vehicle designed for the Thai market. I can see my door open sufficiently without any problem. Obviously on the passenger side we don't have the electric seat. This is just strictly manual. I'm able to tilt the back and move the seat back and forth, but it's all mechanical. Okay, we do have our glove box. Opens and closes nicely. Alright, here we have the charging port. Now on some of these vehicles we're noticing that they have a charging port on both sides. One side is for the fast charger and the other side is for the level 1, level 2 charger. And what they've done is they've just simply put both on one side here on this particular model. And this is on the left side of the vehicle. And it's kind of like the gas cap there on the gasoline vehicles that sometimes I'm confused as to which side the gas cap is on. Oftentimes they put an arrow there integral with the gas gauge to remind you which side of the vehicle the gas cap is on. So this is going to be my charging port. And a level 1 charger is included with the vehicle. Okay, here we have quite an elaborate display. And what I'm looking at right here is that I have a forward-facing camera, a rear-facing camera, and here with the combination of the forward, the rear, and the side cameras, it's trying to give me a 360-degree view. Okay, now here's our controls here for the AC. I have on-off. And I can select whether the AC compressor is going to run or I just simply have fan. And here we have our front defrost and rear defrost. Now the rear defrost is electric obviously, and the front defrost is with the fan. Okay, let's take a look at our different controls here. Now obviously I have to press the brake first, and now we put the vehicle in drive. I can't really say transmission because this is an electric vehicle. So there we're in drive, and we see the forward-facing camera. Here we have neutral, and then here's reverse, and there's the rear-facing camera. So we'll go back to neutral, and here I have my parking select. So there the parking brake is engaged. Now apparently I have a automatic hold function if I am on a steep incline, so we can use that if it's necessary. Alright, now obviously the steering is electrically assisted, so as I turn the steering wheel it's absolutely effortless. No problem. Here's our headlight control. We have off, and then we have of course parking lights, headlights, and then we have an auto function which is going to look at the ambient light conditions and decide whether the headlight should be on or off. Now I notice that I do have, it looks like a type of fog light selection or running light selection, and this is my turn signal. and then of course my high beam, low beam. So here we see flash to pass, and then high beam. Here, I need to turn the headlights on first. There we go. High beam. If I push it away, pull it towards me, I'm back to low beam, and then I have flash to pass. Always a nice feature. Okay. Here I have my parking camera. For some reason I don't want that. I can turn it off. Seems like that's just a nice feature if you're in the parking situation. As I look at the controls on the display here, I can see that I can change my different radio selection here. I can be AM or FM. Let's take a look. So here is FM in the megahertz range, and here's AM in the kilohertz range, which a lot of vehicles are kind of getting away from AM radios, but here in Thailand apparently we're going to hold on to it. I have my volume control, and then my integral cell phone if I have that feature. Over on this side we have our cruise control, set, resume. And then of course we have our wiper function. I have mist, which is just one swipe, and then of course I have my low, my high, and then I also have a intermediate, or I should say intermittent wiper, which I can adjust. And I notice that I also have an auto feature too, which I'm going to assume that what's happening there is that it has some type of rain sensor, and so if there is rain on the window, it goes ahead and operates the wiper. Now, as far as a washer is concerned, let's see. If I am going to push this up or pull it towards me, yeah, there we go. If I pull the lever towards me, we have a very nice mist washer. Now, as far as the steering wheel is concerned, I do have a tilt function, so I can tilt up and down. I do not have a telescope function. So we don't have the telescope function. We do have the tilt function. Now, one thing I do have is kind of an equivalent of a gas gauge there that's telling me the state of charge of the battery. Now, one thing I do notice that here I have my fan control, so I can adjust the fan if I need a little more or want a little less. We can go ahead and adjust the mode. I can adjust the temperature, and 22 degrees centigrade seems to be a real nice. We can go up 23, back to 22. There we go. And here we have our different pages. Now, this is in Thai, and obviously this is the Thai market, so obviously people in Thailand appreciate their Thai characters, so they can go ahead and look at the different functions of the vehicle and read them there in Thai. And there we go to our home page. There we select our menu. Here we can go ahead and set up the Wi-Fi and various features of the vehicle. And I'm somewhat at a disadvantage because I don't read Thai fluently. But obviously the owner of this vehicle here in Thailand would be able to, and that would make him very comfortable. Okay, when we originally entered the vehicle, the language was set up for Thai. But here one of the selections is we can switch over to English, and it makes it a lot more friendly for someone that's not from Thailand. So let's take a look at our different menus. Here's vehicle settings, and there we go. We're taking a look at reset all vehicle settings. I don't think I want to do that. And here we have different options here for parking. So we can have road calibration, low speed emergency braking, which may be a very nice feature. And we also have worry-free intelligent pre-cooling. And I suspect that's pre-cooling the vehicle, and it's doing that nicely for us right now. Let's take a look. Driving. Okay, pedestrian assistance system. Now remember, I do have the little proximity sensors, or little radar sensors out front, plus the camera. So here we have pedestrian assistance system. That might be a very nice feature, and collision avoidance there if the vehicle stops in front of me and I fail to press on the brake. So here it can certainly help us. And we have an intersection assistance, which is a nice feature. Let's take a look at our lane assist. Now I do have cameras on each one of the mirrors, so I can go ahead and have these nice features. And let's see here, early warning mode, and so I have sound, vibration, and sound. So if I depart from the lane, it can let me know. Let's take a look, and that's a nice feature, and of course we've seen that before on other luxury vehicles, so certainly something we want to utilize. Traffic sign recognition, that's certainly a nice advanced feature. This is our standard speed limit sign here in Thailand, so it can go ahead and note the speed. Now it may actually be picking that information up from the GPS, so it may not necessarily be looking at a sign but from the GPS. But there we do have a traffic sign recognition, which certainly is a possibility. Overspeed alarm, cruise speed alarm, overspeed alarm sensitivity. Let's see here. Okay, so that's the end of our... So we have traffic sign, lane assist, and front assist. All very nice features. Alright, steering wheel assist mode. Now I'm in the comfort mode right now, so I suspect that if I want it a little bit stiffer, I could go over to sports, and I want it to be very, very light and effortless, I could go over to light. Let's take a look at the body. Alright, door unlock mode. So when I unlock the door, I could select just the driver or all four doors. And then in speed locking, here if I go faster than 15 kilometers per hour, I'm going to go ahead and lock my doors. My outside rear view mirror folding mode. Now that's a nice feature. It's manual right now, so if you want to fold the mirrors, you have to do it manually. But here in the auto mode, when I lock the vehicles, the mirrors fold in. And this is a nice feature there in Thailand, because oftentimes the parking is very tight and I need those mirrors folded in. Let's take a look at light. Alright, active welcome setting. I bring on the dome lights as I enter the vehicle. Power saving delay time, 5 minutes, and ceiling lamp delay time, 10 seconds. And here we go, take me home delay, and vehicle search function mode, whistle and flash. There when I press the key fob, as I can find my good cat amongst all the other good cats in the parking lot. And the take me home delay, that may be the delay time there on the headlights there. That's a nice feature. So keep the headlights on for 30 seconds as I leave the vehicle. Now, wireless charging switch, and I think what we're talking about here is the charger for your cell phone. And the charger for your cell phone is a very nice feature. And oftentimes you're using the Bluetooth function on the cell phone. And I believe this may be the cell phone charging function down here in this area. But I do have USB ports, and I suspect what they're for is one may be powered all the time, and the other one is with the switched ignition, or as I actually occupy the vehicle. And I do have a 12-volt charging port for 12-volt accessories. That could be anything from a dash cam whatever you seek to use. And of course here I have my parking brake. So there I would pull it up to apply it, and then it reminds me that I have to push on the brake pedal to release the parking brake, which is a nice safety feature. And then here I have a automatic mode. Now it is interesting, when I do apply the parking brake, we can hear a sound there in the back. So obviously it's an electrically applied brake there in the back, and I suspect it's either using the calipers or shoes within the portion of the rotor to apply the parking brake. Reminds me I have to push the brake pedal down, and there we hear it release. Okay, certainly very nice, very comfortable. The air conditioning is working very nicely, and we can see we can select to turn off the passenger airbag if we so choose. And here we see our vanity mirrors. Sometimes it's nice to have a lighted one, but we do have them on both sides. Sunglasses. Now we also have a sunroof. Certainly a nice feature that we can open and close. Oftentimes it's nice to have this sunroof, and here I have one selection where I can open the sunroof. Here I see my air dam, and as I close the sunroof, I can leave it in the vent position, or we can go ahead and close it completely. And then of course I have my screen. And there we can block the sunroof completely. Okay, here we've had a chance to take a look at the ORA Good Cat, and the car seems to be certainly an adequate size. In fact, it feels just fine. It's not excessively large or small. It kind of has a rounded type of feel there on the outside that kind of emulates the Volkswagen. Looks a lot like one of the Porsche models. It's very comfortable, easy to see out of, good visibility all around. We did notice that the has a nice hatchback, and the seats do fold down, so it greatly increases my cargo area. And we see that there are quite a few functions available to me that I can kind of customize the display and the function of the car, which makes it very nice. Controls that I need immediate, like selecting on-off for the climate control, the AC compressor on-off, front defog, rear defog, are all right there, and my emergency flasher. Very easy to get to. This is actually my shift. I'm in neutral right now. I have to press the brake to select drive or reverse. Now, what it's reminding me here is that if I try to select drive, there, the parking brake is on. So it's letting me know that. If I need to release the parking brake, you have to press the brake pedal, and then I just simply push it down, and it releases. So here we have the ORA Good Cat. This is certainly a beautiful car, coming in at about $22,000, very reasonably priced for what it is. Has a very good range, seems to be very comfortable, has a very good air conditioning system. Now here in the Thai market, heating would really not be something that would even be desired, because the temperature just really never falls below 70 degrees ever. Maybe if you go up far north, and I believe that the ORA Good Cat does have a heating system, but here in Bangkok, many of the Thai market vehicles don't even have a heater core. All right, and so certainly a beautiful car. This is going to be quite a competitor here in the world of electric vehicles.